Hello LBs, hello YouTube, welcome into today's video, and today have I got a reaction for you. Today we're going to be checking out a video called Sony You Absolute Fools. Now, this video is probably going to address the situation, the elephant in the room in the gaming community, and that's that all the companies are trying to rob you blind. The prices, like with GTA, are going up to $100 to get the full access to the game. You've got Sony sitting here saying, we're removing physical. As you can see here, physical disc production ending in January 2028. And if you read their terms of service on their website, they say, oh yeah, when you buy a game, you're not actually buying it, you're just renting the right. So I can't have a physical copy. I can only get digital. You're robbing me blind with the prices, and now you're saying I'm only rented so my access can be removed at any time. Oh, get gone, brother, get gone. But today we're going to be watching this video. This video is made by Lieutenant Buzz Litebeer. Love the name. Dude's awesome. So let's give it a little look and see what he's got to say. Sony's announcement to kill physical media. Let's give it a go.
They would no longer be supporting physical media come the start of 2028.
Yes.
Saying that they've had a rough go of it would be quite the understatement.
You think?
Now, over 175 million views this post received to the 105,000 comments. As Paul Tassi of Forbes puts it, the disc decision Sony made is its biggest scandal.
Downfall, yeah. Yeah. The only thing comparable to this, like a company removing a feature that most people want, would probably be like Apple when they removed like the headphone jack. I mean, it's not a big a deal as compared to like disc access on a console, but it's still up there. It's still up there, you know? So yeah, this is very much a foot in mouth situation.
The post itself has received multiple community notes that Sony seems to be able to keep getting removed, and then another one pops up in its place. And if anything has been made clear by the world of gaming, it's that they are not giving up.
Yeah.
Community, that is.
Yeah, good. They shouldn't.
Comments are scathing, ranging from Domino's Pizza saying it makes about as much sense as us changing to digital pizza.
Whenever there's something happening, you can always rely on Domino's UK Twitter going off and saying some nonsense. Listen, I don't even like Domino's. Back home, when I was still in England, whenever I'd get a pizza, sorry Domino's, I'd always go for Pizza Go-Go or Pizza Hut. Domino's was always too pricey, but they pay good. They pay good, so Domino's are chill for that. But when it comes down to social media, listen, no restaurant in the UK has got anything on KFC UK or Domino's Pizza UK because the social media admins are unhinged, brother.
To a comment calling out Sony for selling digital games for the same price as physical copies. More on that in just a bit, which is one of the major concerns with Sony making this all-digital push. However, what may have caught Sony by surprise is just how intense the pushback would become. And so after their epic July 1st tweet and all the action that post saw, they decided to step back and just calms dark, hoping to ride out the tsunami of pissed off players.
Which is like 90% of what most companies do nowadays, is say something, players don't like it, shh, be quiet. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. It's like a storm. It's going to pass. It's going to be fine. Nah, brother. Sorry, Sony. You've lost a lot of people on this. You need to be prepared for the heat. Like, people ain't going to let this go.
Returning to X with this post on July the 7th, advertising the new Flex Strike wireless fight stick. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. Which was definitely a tone-deaf post to make in the first place, considering the bombshell they had dropped just 6 days prior. I mean, they could have addressed player concerns, but hey, this is Sony. So they instead took this opportunity to advertise something else for players to buy. The comments to this tweet say it all. F Sony spelled out with digital cases.
Nice.
Roses are red, violets are blue, not buying digital Sony. F you.
Yep.
And here's another one simply
no
saying,
disc, no buy.
Disc, no buy. But what's absolutely amazing here is just how much Sony gets hit with backlash now for anything they choose to post and how badly they get ratioed in the process. For instance, here's the July PlayStation Plus monthly games post with 7,900 likes to 23,000 comments that is also carrying a community note saying that digital purchases are licenses, not ownership, and Sony can revoke access.
Exactly.
Even a
Yep.
retweet for The Blood of Dawnwalker was the recipient of Sony's strays, as just being retweeted was enough to get a community note and over 19,000 comments. Mortal Shell 2 and developer Cold Symmetry saw much the same treatment from a Sony retweet, another community note citing concerns over Sony attempting to establish a digital monopoly, and over 12,000 comments to just 3,600 likes. In fact, scrolling through PlayStation's Twitter feed, if you're Sony,
it's not good.
Give you a sense of confidence right now. GTA 6, a massive upcoming release coming to PS5.
Yeah, but then, like, to be fair, right? GTA. So GTA 6 is in dog water anyway because of this whole like $80 for the game, $100 for the full experience situation that they've got going on. Mix that with the PS5 or the PlayStation or the Sony situation. Sales, unless you are, I don't want to say it because it's kind of messed up to say it, but unless you are a shill for the industry, as it were, unless you're basically selling yourself to the industry, you've got like no brain and all you really do is just Sony, PlayStation, game, and you don't critically think about things, then most people are not going to buy it. And again, that's not shaming those people. Honestly, I wish I was like that. I wish I was like that because like I'd have no troubles anymore in this world. Critically thinking about things and seeing like the bigger picture or seeing the shadow behind the curtain. I don't like it. It makes me so cynical. It makes me so depressive. I hate it. I hate it. But you know, if I could, I'd switch it off and I just, you know, like they say, ignorance is bliss, right? So I wish I could be like that. Unfortunately, I'm not. So I can only see the shadiness and the dodginess with everything, and like I don't approve of this, Sony. I kind of hope that this is a cut that bleeds. I hope this hurts Sony in the pockets to where they never try this again.
Slapped with a community note. Palworld 1.0 is now live on PS5. 5,700 comments, with many of them hitting Sony with the familiar memes and questions about a disc. Even a retweet of an Apex Legends Cyberpunk event wasn't immune to the community notes. And 13
Wait, Apex Legends Cyberpunk. That's an interesting crossover. Okay.
1,000 comments to just 2,600 upvotes. This push to all digital is Sony's biggest scandal in 20 years. Fans of physical media and games preservation are letting them know about it every step of the way. And the pushback doesn't show any signs of slowing down or stopping. In fact, this battle has every indication that it is something that players are not willing to give an inch on.
Yeah.
But, you know, based on what we're seeing from Sony, they don't seem to care.
They don't. And they don't, because Sony has been the top dog for a while, right? So if we take a look at the gaming situation, like back in the golden age of E3 and all of that, right? PlayStation had its nonsense kept in check because of Xbox. Then Nintendo joined the fight a little bit. Like Nintendo could never beat, but they could keep up, if that makes sense. And then Xbox kind of destroyed its every being by focusing itself. Like I think when they dropped 360 and they originally transitioned over to Xbox One, at that point in time, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were like, oh yeah, we are a entertainment console, not a gaming console. And then at that point, they basically just handed the keys of the kingdom over to Sony. And ever since then, as far as consoles are concerned, they are top dog. PC would demolish Sony. They'd wipe the floor with Sony. But in terms of console, Sony have held the reins for so long. They are the industry giant. They don't care because they are the top dog. They don't care because they get away with everything. Now, maybe this will change. I heard that like Microsoft and Xbox specifically have just laid off a bunch of people. Maybe they're going for like a hard reset, an internal like clean slate wipeout, bring in specific people for specific roles and maybe hop back on the horse. But I don't know. This could go either way. This really could go either way. If Xbox pushes for physical media and they do like a proper revamp and they go back to the old school ways of like big launch titles like Game of Thrones, no, Gears of War, I feel like Xbox will be able to bring the reins in and bring Sony back into check. We'll have to hope and see.
They seem to be oblivious to the community notes and all the backlash. However, what Sony does pay attention to is its real customers, its shareholders, who are focused on making money. Money. Hitting Sony, and the only place they care about, their bank accounts. That's when we started to see Sony panic and do something that they rarely do: offer up discounts.
This is another thing I hate about the industry as well. Hold on. PS Plus, right? Back in the day of PS3, you got online for free. You didn't have to pay for no membership. It was great. And then Sony noticed it and they were like, oh, wait, Xbox makes their players pay monthly and people pay monthly. We should do this. And then all of a sudden, PSN became a paid product from PS4 onwards. And it was just like, no, why? Free online play was amazing. Buzz Litebeer.
As Sony tried to ride out the storm following their disastrous all-digital announcement, the community began focusing their efforts.
Wow, they've been canceling the PS Plus. Nice.
Organizing a Save Physical Games petition on change.org.
Yeah, that's not going to do nothing. It's not going to do nothing. There was that whole, like, stop killing games thing. They got the petitions. They went to European Parliament and got shut down or something, right? Petitions don't do nothing anymore, guys. We need to give up on petitions. Like, just hurt them where it hurts, bro. Just hurt them in the pocket. If you do a petition, they don't care. They don't care, brother. Look at the UK. We have a petition system where if it gets 100,000 signatures, it can be discussed by the top. 90% of them don't even get discussed. They just shrug their shoulders and be like, it's not important. Do you really think this is PSN? Do you really think PlayStation Network, PS Plus, PlayStation, Sony are going to do this? Allegedly, they killed Michael Jackson to get his music catalog. Do you think they care about your petition? Again, allegedly. But come on, for real. Come on.
Approaching 300,000 signatures, along with large amounts of players canceling their PlayStation Plus subscriptions. And this is when we started to see Sony do anything they could to keep those customers a part of their PlayStation ecosystem. As Push Square says here, PS Plus discounts being offered to fans canceling in protest.
See, action equals result. Petitions do not equal result.
Players started receiving 50% off for 3 months offers from Sony in an attempt to bring them back. Some players outright refused that offer. Some couldn't pass on it, calling it too good to say no to, while others received varied discounts. Posts have been popping up saying that they were offered 25% to come back after their cancellation. Others say they saw 30%. But
maybe
Sony
it's
is
region.
Clearly going to do
maybe it's
whatever
region
they can
based
to keep customers spending money in their ecosystem. That said, what we are seeing with the varying discounts clearly points to a practice Sony engages in: dynamic pricing. Now, to be fair, lots of companies actually engage in this process, with Sony actually not disclosing this system publicly, which analysts believe they've had deployed somewhere since
A/B price test,
2025. But for many players, based on your region and your spending habits, Sony's system will scrub your buying history and then dynamically price their games and services to buyers based on the internal algorithms.
Yeah, and I think I don't know too much about the background work, the coding, the decisions, and all of that, but the different prices for users depending on region, I can understand, kind of. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, please do. But there was a thing many years ago, right, where like in-game purchases, like how can I say, like consumables and skins and stuff like that, or even just games themselves, were very, very cheap in Brazil because of the situation with the Brazilian. How do you say the currency? Real, something like that. With the Brazilian currency, it was really, really bad because of the value of the currency versus the prices of like Western companies being high, right? So they reduced it so the people of Brazil can buy them. And then there was like a scandal or something with people changing their location on Steam to go to Brazil. And then once they were listed on the Brazilian marketplace, they could buy the same game for much cheaper. So instead of paying like $80, they could pay like $30 or something, right? I heard that there was like a big scandal or something like that. So that does not surprise me that there are region-specific things. Even with like Twitch, right? Twitch, the streaming platform. When you guys donate, for example, the baseline is like what? Tier 1 sub is what? $5.99? But that $5.99, when it goes to a streamer, is not always the 50%. So $5.99, that's 6. So let's say $3 for every sub, right? $3 for every sub. Now, if you are a US person, American citizen, and you buy the sub, then $3 goes to the streamer. If you're Turkish, it will be significantly less because of the conversion rate, right? So again, price localization is definitely a thing.
According to GamesIndustry.biz, this dynamic system is impacting the prices of over 150 games across 68 territories, including Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America.
Okay.
More recently, the report shows that personalized discounts are being offered up during sales.
Interesting.
With some potential players being offered discounts ranging anywhere between 5.3 and 17.6%.
Wow.
Depending on the game, the user, and their purchase price, with the games being offered up coming from both Sony's first-party AAA game studios, along with games from the likes of 2K and Bethesda. Again, is the dynamic pricing system unique to Sony?
No.
No. But that doesn't make it any less scummy. So much so that we've seen politicians and legal action be levied against Sony in recent days. Brazilian federal deputy Erica Hilton has requested an investigation into Sony Interactive Entertainment and its plan for a purely digital landscape.
It's gone legal.
Another federal deputy, Jandira Fagali, recently proposed a new bill directly inspired by the Stop Killing Games movement, saying that publishers must clearly inform customers about a game's reliance on online servers at the point of sale. Furthermore, they must also outline the minimum support period, which cannot be less than 2 years from a game's launch in Brazil.
And that's good, because there was a situation with The Crew, if you guys remember correctly, where they were playing The Crew, and then all of a sudden, people were like, oh, I can't get access, and they say, oh, the server's been closed. But because the game was completely online, although you could do single-player stuff, it was all operated on an online server, right? So once they shut that down, you couldn't access the game anymore, which means you couldn't play the game that you bought anymore. So they basically just scammed you out of the money that you paid. And this is why I keep saying, man, old physical media is the way to go. PS3, Xbox 360, and older is the way to go. I'm on the verge of saving up at the moment. I'm literally going to go out, go to the secondhand store, buy an Xbox 360, hook it up to my Elgato, and then just play games with that, honestly. Peace of mind and all of that stuff.
The proposal also goes on to say that publishers must inform consumers about any termination of service no less than 180 days in advance, notifying players in the game itself on official social channels and through other means. Now, where this bill gets a bit more interesting is in its options, suggesting 3 options for when an online game is shut down. First, a company can release an update to allow for offline play.
Good.
Second, provide tools to the community to keep it going themselves.
Yep.
And finally, Sony can reimburse players proportionally based on how much time they've spent.
Do you really think Sony's going to take option 3? Really? Oh, they would rather let Sony sink as a company than take option 3.
Spent with the game, with failure to comply with these regulations incurring fines. But Brazil is not the only one working towards new regulations against Sony, as we just recently saw a Dutch consumer group file a $457 million lawsuit on behalf of 1.7 million
That's a lot.
PlayStation users, arguing, listen to this, Sony's 30% PlayStation Store commission will inflate game prices once physical alternatives disappear.
That's a good point.
And here's where Sony's push to go all digital really reveals itself. You see, right now, you have the option as a consumer to purchase your games from multiple platforms. Epic Game Store, Steam, Amazon, and physical retailers, with the option to even pick up pre-owned copies, often with the prices at these locations outside of PlayStation Store offering huge discounts when compared to Sony. For example, here's Dragon Ball Sparking Zero for PS5, purchased new through Amazon.
That's a good discount.
$9.99. That same game on PlayStation's digital store went for $69.99.
Yeah, when I used to have my PS4, I remember I used to go online, and I'd always take the free game. I'd never buy a new game, but the sales would always be like, "Oh, there's $5 off." When I go to town the next day and I stop by the second-hand shop, I have a look and I'm just like, "Oh, it's like 25 off." Bro, Sony are just out here trying to scam people, bro. They got a serious case of sticky fingers.
And according to a brand new Gadget Review article, there are even more extreme examples to be found, going on to say that during a recent Amazon sale, Lost Soul Aside sold for $9.99 on disc. The PlayStation Store's sale price for the same game at the same time was $39.59, which is 4 times more for the digital file versus the physical.
Yep.
And the pattern continues. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, $25 on physical versus $42 on digital. That's a 40 to 45% premium for that digital download. NBA 2K24, listen to this one. $29.99 found on a store shelf, $79.99 on the PlayStation Store. Dark Souls
That's ridiculous.
3, under $20 at GameStop, $60 for the digital. And in Australia, physical copies commonly fall below $40 AUD 3 years after launch, while digital prices hold it between 60 to 70 AUD.
That just makes me cry, man. I remember back in the day, okay, listen, I'm a bit dated here, but there was one time, I remember it was the first game I actively bought with my pocket money, okay? I must have been about 9 or 10 years old, maybe, and it was the PlayStation, I think it was the PlayStation 2, maybe. Hold on, how old was I? What year was it when I was like 10? 2005. 2005 turned in 2006. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so I've just completely doxed my age. Yes, I'm old. Get over it. Yeah, so it was the PlayStation 2, right? I saved up. Brand new game, by the way, just came out. Conflict Desert Storm 2. Fantastic game. Loved it. AAA game. Very popular. Advertised everywhere at the local game shops. I bought it brand new. Still had the little plastic wrapping on the case. Do you want to know how much that game cost me? £22. £22. Compare that to prices nowadays. And you know, secondhand games, the ones that aren't really that popular, there was a game called Penny Racers, okay? Basically, imagine Mario Kart, but cars, and just that type of deal, right? Secondhand, supermarket, £4.50. Bruh, those were the days. 100%. Those were the days.
And that's what this $457 million Dutch lawsuit is actually arguing. You see, when the alternatives are removed from the equation, like outside retailers and secondhand copies, Sony can then funnel all the business through its own digital marketplace, where buyers are then subjected to the Sony
takeaway option of choice, so that they are the only choice. Give them a monopoly, and then they can do whatever they want and regulate it however they want. 100%, that's the plan.
tax, which is a 30% price hike applied to its digital downloads sold through the PlayStation Store. Now, Sony has been able to successfully skirt around antitrust claims in the past, pointing towards used games and resale markets as evidence it didn't have a true monopoly over its products.
But now you're removing that.
However, according to analysts now looking over this lawsuit, with Sony's announcement to move to all digital in 2028, they've essentially destroyed their own defense by removing disc and therefore competition. According to a statement made by the chair of this Dutch lawsuit firm, Sony's decision to discontinue the production of physical discs, quote, removes the last place where a PlayStation game could still be bought and sold at a competitive price. No discs means no secondhand market and no alternative to the PlayStation Store. So from 2028, Sony alone decides what a game costs and even how long you're allowed to own it. And look no further from what Sony recently did by deleting 551 movies and TV shows consumers had bought and paid for on the PlayStation Store because their contract with Studio Canal had run out. And so they just deleted the movies with no hint of financial compensation for those purchases.
That's disgusting. It's disgusting. It really is.
Media's dystopian future. You will own nothing and you're going to be happy about it.
Yep.
At least if these companies get their way. One thing has been made painfully clear over the past weeks, if not months, and that being the old version of Sony that was seemingly consumer-friendly and run by names like Shuhei Yoshida and Sean Layden. Yeah, that group is long gone. The new PlayStation is looking to be far leaner and to maximize profits over anything, and it's apparent that Hideaki Nishino and Herman Holst are willing to go to war with gamers over prices and their ability to own what they've already bought and paid for. And of course, with Sony PlayStation making this announcement, along with a recent announcement that the most anticipated game of all time, GTA 6's physical edition, will be nothing more than a box with a code in it.
Yeah.
You know that other publishers are sitting out there like Ubisoft, and
they're all just vultures. They're all just vultures looking at the price, trying to find a way to get this to work. And the second it works, they're gonna have like a party, because then consumers will have no choice but to follow it. So this is definitely a fight that consumers, not gamers, not Sony consumers, not GTA 6 fans, this is a fight and this is a battle that every person who enjoys video games as a pastime has to be a part of and has to fight against. Because people are saying, oh, but it's fine, you know, you can just buy it. Yeah, but that's not the point. That's the whole ignorance is bliss talking. Do your research, because soon you're going to have to start paying $100, $120, $150, $200 for a game. Then it's going to go up for the console. $600, $800, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. At that point, you might as well just get a PC. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a fight that needs to be fought. It's disgusting. The practice makes me want to vomit. It's just money hungry, grubbing vultures preying on everyone. Makes me sick. I had no intention of playing GTA 6 before. As a content creator, I probably should. I have no intention of touching that shit now. I have no intention of touching another Sony product ever again, whether that's the PlayStation 5, whether that's PSN stuff to get free games, whether that is Ghost of Yotei, or whether that's God of War. I don't care. I'm not touching it. I'm not buying it. Anything to do with Sony, I just refuse to touch, because this is it's just disgusting. It genuinely makes me feel ill.
Just rubbing their hands together and licking their chops. Because if you remember, it was a Ubisoft executive who said back in 2024 that...
Yeah, exactly. And that's another reason why Ubisoft is on my shit list. I am not touching a Ubisoft again, which disappoints me, because I loved Ubisoft. I used to be a major Ubisoft fan. I used to be a big shill for them. I used to get every Assassin's Creed. Yeah, nah, man. Get out of here. Get gone.
We as gamers needed to get comfortable not owning our games.
Mm-hmm.
More expensive games with no extras that are offered up in physical editions with expiring licenses and only offered in a singular storefront is exactly what some of these publishers are looking to push for, unless gamers fight back.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my take on it, and here's where I turn to you for your feedback. How do you feel about Sony's all-digital future, or the digital future of gaming as a whole? Drop a comment and let's get a healthy discussion going. If you happen to like the video, please hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell. And before I go, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our hardcore channel members. Until the next one, this is Lieutenant Buzz Litebeer, signing off.
Thank you very much, Mr. Litebeer. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for this video. It was great. It was a good show. I really appreciate the storytelling, the breaking it down, the featuring the information, the different sources. It really, really does go well. Great video. Thank you. I'm going to leave a link to the original video in the description down below, guys. If you do want to check it out yourself, go and check it there. But I'm going to leave this here. Again, Litebeer, thank you so much for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you did, don't forget to, of course, click the like button and or subscribe. And for the guys over on Twitch where we're streaming now, let's lock in. We've got another one.